Hey there, Capricorn. It's Keaghan. Welcome to your December 15th through the 22nd reading. As you can see, I'm doing things a little bit differently here. If you've been with me for a while and you've watched my videos since at least midsummer, you've seen me do these types of readings before. But if you're new here, it's possible you haven't seen me do this specific type of reading. So as you can see, each card has been given a very specific meaning. I'll be going through and giving you the meaning of the card in terms of the context, but a lot of what I'll be doing in this reading is very intuitive. I am tuning into the energy of the Capricorn Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising signs. Crosswatchers, you're welcome to watch this if you're wanting to tune in just to check to see what's going on with the Capricorn. The other thing to keep in mind is that my intention sitting down to do this reading is that the people who watch this video, I'm tuning into their energy. So even if you're not a Capricorn, but you decided to watch this to check in on a Capricorn, you may find that this just resonates with you personally, even if Capricorn is not your Sun, Moon, Venus, or Rising sign. So I'm going to give this one more shuffle and then cut this deck a couple of times. I'll be pulling from the bottom of the deck for your overall energy. And then I also have my Oracle deck here. We're going to be selecting 2 cards to give guidance and advice for kicking off the energy of the week and how to wrap up the week. So that feels good. I'm going to pull from the bottom and then right off the top. So Capricorn, I hope that you guys have been doing well, having a good December. I'm going to turn this overlay off. I will remind you what the cards mean as I start to work my way through them. Okay, I feel like we're ready. So Capricorn, let's start by looking at your first Oracle card. It's coming out. This says, when I accept the love of the universe as my primary teacher, I will always be guided back to the light. So Cappies, right off the top, what I want to say here that I'm getting energetically is when we're faced with situations that are heavy, when we're faced with things that feel like they've left us in a dark space, if we can shift our mind and shift our thinking into remembering that the universe is trying to help us learn things that will make life easier for us. Now, often we can be a little bit stubborn and we can fight those lessons. So as this is saying, when we can reconnect to the fact that the love of the universe is really what is trying to teach us, even when it's giving us really hard lessons and it's sort of like hitting us over the head, trying to make us see something that we need to see or learn something we need to learn. If we can reconnect to feeling that, okay, yes, this was painful. Yes, this was disappointing. This didn't go the way that I wanted it to. This is frustrating to me, but there's something in this for me to learn, or otherwise it wouldn't have happened. I wouldn't have had this experience unless there was something in it that's designed to help make me better, to help improve things for me. Then that is how we start getting led back into a lighter type of existence. Now, this card is going to represent what is currently standing in your way of being able to connect to that. So you have the High Priestess here coming out reversed. Very interesting. This is a new deck for me, by the way. I have the book. It's called the Wild Unknown Tarot, in case you're curious about it. I feel like some of you might actually be curious. And this is the first time I've seen the High Priestess card come out in any of the readings that I've done with this. So I just wanted to point that out to you guys because the High Priestess reversed is a place where we're really disconnected from our own intuition. Okay. It's also representative of just being really withdrawn. The High Priestess is reversed is someone who's not speaking. They're not reaching out. They've really pulled energy inward. This card also represents secrets. So for the Capricorns listening to me, or the Crosswatchers who are listening, if you are in a situation where you're not communicating, you're not sharing things, you're just trying to wall yourself off and isolate, and you're actively avoiding those nudges from the universe, those intuitive hits that are trying to guide you, trying to give you insight, trying to lead you. That's what the High Priestess reverse would represent. And obviously that would be something that would be a block in your way of being able to really learn the lessons and get back into leave that darker place and find your way back into a lighter type of existence. So let's take a look here in terms of what's on your mind, what's going on. You have the Sun of Pentacles coming out reversed. This represents the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles reversed is someone who feels stuck. And very often that feeling of being stuck is because we're trying to find a perfect solution, or we're trying ourselves to be perfect. And when we're doing that, when we're trying to strive for some level of perfect, we are never able to actually achieve it because it's not something that really exists. And it creates a situation in which we feel bored and stuck because we're going after something that just isn't possible. We're setting ourselves up for disappointment. But I feel like in your mind, you're trying to really figure out. It's so interesting. It feels like you're trying to figure out the perfect way of getting unstuck. And I just want to say to you, it's just to stop being stuck. Stop focusing on it. Stop thinking about it. Stop analyzing it. Stop going over it in your mind. That's the way to stop that mental, like, hamster wheel. That's what I'm saying. What is that called? It's like a hamster wheel, right? Where you're just like, you're running on this hamster wheel, but you're really not making any progress. It's like the actual act itself of thinking about it makes you feel like you're getting some sort of progress or you're making progress on something. But really, it's just, if you really look at it, you've been thinking the same thoughts and doing the same things and going over the same process over and over and over, and you really don't have anything tangible to show, because this is where you're actually going to get the answers, by listening to your intuition, of connecting to people, of having conversations that need to be had, sharing secrets that have been kept secret, or opening your eyes to secrets that maybe have not been revealed to you. Let's see what's going on in your heart. You have the Three of Cups. It's upright. Well, this is kind of sad. In your heart, you really do want to be happy. You want to be out there with your friends. You want to be doing things. Your heart's really, this is interesting. These two cards next to each other. In your heart, you want to have connection. You want to be out there doing fun things, being with your friends, hanging out with people, enjoying life. It's your head that's getting in your way. It's very interesting because you're literally blocking yourself from what your heart wants. Sorry, that was a sad statement. That was a sad sentence. For those of you listening to me, like, I know this place where you really do want. So I don't know if I've shared this ever, but my rising sign is actually Capricorn. So I do get this, where you really do want to make connections. You want to be out there and living life and doing the things that you want to do, and forming friendships or focusing on your friendships, but you're just so in your head, and you're trying to figure out the perfect way of doing things, and you're really trying to focus on being perfect and making everyone happy, and it just ends up creating a situation where you don't do anything. You just isolate yourself and you cut yourself off. I get this. So stop doing that. Stop doing that, Capricorn. What's trying to guide you? Yeah, obviously, right? The Hermit. It's not working, just FYI. I think you're aware of that. But, I do think that a lot of you are thinking that if you just take some time and you do some soul searching and you think this through, and you become a little bit introspective about this, that you'll come to some sort of answer, and you'll get that perfect way of approaching this. But really, you just got to get out there. You have to stop isolating yourself. You have to tune into your intuition, Cappy. Listen to your intuition. Get out there. Reconnect with people. Respond to the texts that are piled up. Call your best friend. Call, a sibling. You do have people in your life that want to be there, that want to see you, that want to hang out. And you're so focused on trying to get everything in line before you're willing to do that. But listen to your heart. Your heart is really telling you that that's what you need. It's the universe trying to guide you back. Everything here is about love. This is all isolation. Okay, so you can see the conflict here, where you're isolating yourself, you're keeping yourself away, but what you really want and what the universe is trying to get you to do is to get out there and connect to people. So now we can take a look at this. This is going to be the overall energy for the week. Now, it's not your energy. This is your energy. This is what the week is trying to bring into you. This is the energy that the universe is trying to present to you, to give you that extra boost that you need in order to start making progress on these cards over here, which represents what you're going to heal, the lessons you're going to learn, the clarity that you're going to get. Okay, so let's see what the energy is going to be like for you. You have the Two of Pentacles coming out upright. Now, the Two of Pentacles is really about being in a situation where we feel like we're juggling. Okay, you can see this here. juggling our heart and what we feel and what we know we're being told intuitively we need to do against what we think, where our mind's at, how we would rather things be. What's interesting about this Two of Pentacles is that I do feel like the main thing that's coming through energetically is being adaptable, realizing that you don't have to be fixed and fixed, not in terms of like repaired, but like fixed as in like rigid. You don't have to be fixed in how you're approaching things. That you can there are people in your life, Capricorn, who they love and accept you, warts and all. They don't have any desire to judge you. They don't have any desire to push you to try to evolve or change faster than what they know you're capable of. They really do love you for who you are and how you are. It doesn't mean that they don't want to see you make improvements. It doesn't mean that they don't want the best for you. Clearly, if they're close to you and they know you, then they understand that there might be some things that you need to work on. There might be some things that are holding you back. But they also want to be there to hold your hand through it. And so you need to allow that to happen. Okay? Let's see what's going to heal for you. Really curious about this. You have the Mother of Wands. This is a Queen of Wands. It's come out reversed here. So the Queen of Wands, when she is reversed, is really interesting because this is a place where you're really looking at your own self-confidence, your own relationship with yourself. It's a very introverted type of energy. The Queen of Wands, when she's upright, is very extroverted. She's, a scene maker, a scene stealer. When she enters a room, everyone pays attention. It's a very social type of energy. And when she's reversed, it's the exact opposite. It's everything being pulled inward. Okay. This is what's going to heal for you. So I do feel this is good. I feel a little bit better because I feel like you're going to shift out of some of this isolation energy and you're going to realize that you do have to reconnect to people. You do have to put yourself back out there. I think already I might just say that's going to be part of what I'm going to put in the title for this video is putting yourself back out there because energetically I feel that. It's so interesting because we have this isolation block here and then these cards as they're flowing, they're much more about connection, lightness, reprioritizing things, being more adaptable, healing this feeling of like pulling yourself in and being very like, focused on self. This is good. This makes me happy. Okay, maybe this isn't going to be as heavy as I thought it was going to be as we're working our way through. This is going to be the lesson that you learn this week, Cappy. Interesting. Just taking a minute here because so a lesson learned with the Three of Wands here being reversed. Let's talk about the Three of Wands. When the Three of Wands is reversed, it represents a situation in which we are selling ourselves short. We're playing small. We're not thinking about something with like a positive energy. What is the word I'm looking for? Like foresight. So we're going through decision-making process without having foresight about the possibilities that are a part of that decision. So it's a very sort of short-sighted type of energy. It's this isolation. I think the lesson learned for you here is a realization that when you pull yourself inside and you isolate yourself and you do it to an extreme where you're really sort of cutting off all of your connections and you're just left with yourself and your own thoughts and the feelings you have towards yourself, that you're eliminating so much other perspective that you can have if you're allowing other people to get in. There's so much that happens when you just sit down with someone that you trust and you share what's going on with you and you just listen to them, right? Because they have a different perspective of you, one that isn't quite as harsh and judgy as what I think a lot of times your sign can have a very judgmental self view. Like the way that you view and judge yourself can be a little bit extreme and a little bit critical. And the people who are in your life, that's why I went back to this card, because I wanted to just see energetically. The people in your life, your friends, the people that are close to you, like I said, yeah, they realize there's some things you need to improve, and they want to help you with that. But for the most part, they also just, they see all the really lovely and amazing qualities that you possess, that they really appreciate and that they value. And very often, because they see you in that way, when you talk to them about, situations that you're going through, they will highlight things that you have forgotten or that you've lost sight of, in terms of the accomplishments that you've had in the past, or things that you've managed to overcome, or just insights into your personality, or your like your determination, that can give you that little spark of inspiration so that you can break free of some of the stuck energy. So let's take a look here. This is what clarity you're going to gain this week. Very interesting. You have the Two of Swords here coming out reversed. So the Two of Swords, when it's reversed, represents a situation where we are unable to make a decision, where we're really confused about things. This is a stalemate card. And again, right, like the other two that you have here, you have 2 2s, 2 3s. The High Priestess is also a 2 of the major arcana. So there is lots of this energy between feeling stuck and not knowing what to do, and really having a desire to move forward and start to make progress and planning. Like, that's very heavy here, with 2s and 3s showing up a lot. So clarity around that, clarity around what has felt very much like a place of not being able to make a decision, not knowing what to do, not being able to get the information that you need to make a decision, or feeling like maybe there's so much input being put in that you're just confused about what to do next. You will get clarity around that. This really makes me happy. Yeah, and I sense that, I do sense that it becomes very, like, you have a certainty around this. There is a clarity that comes around that confusion. Now, I know these readings can be a little bit confusing, because this card itself represents not being able to make a decision, being really confused, being at a place where you don't know what to do, or having someone, a stalemate in a situation where no one's making a move. Everyone's just looking at everyone, waiting. Okay? That's what the card means, yes, but it's in a situation about where you gain clarity. You get clarity around the situation. Okay, so I just wanted to clarify that for people, because I can hear a couple people being like, well, wait, that's not what the card means. Because of where it's at in this reading, and because I pre-assigned that this is clarity that's gained during the week, you will get clarity around any situation in which you have felt stuck, or unable to make a decision, or unable to make your next move. So this is what to take with you from the week. You have Justice, which has come out reversed. So this is an interesting card here. Justice reversed represents a place where things just don't seem fair. It can also represent a place where we sense that there wasn't enough of a consequence for something that someone did, that someone got away with something, or they weren't held accountable in some way for something that they did. It's interesting because of the placement in terms of taking this with you, because I think energetically, what I feel mostly with this is just that you have to admit and accept that life is not always fair. And I know that's a cliche, but when we come to that realization that sometimes people can do crappy things and they just get away with it. Sometimes people can do crappy things and people believe that they didn't. It's just part of life, and it's not fair. It's not fair. And in an ideal world, that wouldn't be the way things are, but we don't live in an ideal world. We live in a very seriously flawed human world. And so just taking that with you and accepting it will allow you to not end up in this situation where you're just so isolating and so pulled back and fighting and resisting. The other thing that I feel a connection with this card is going back to what I was saying here, where sometimes the universe does have to be like hit us over the head to get us to learn a lesson. And I think the other thing that's coming through with this is that if we just listen the first time, right? It's like, sometimes the universe is trying to get us to learn something, so it trips us on the sidewalk, and we don't learn the lesson. And so the next time we round a corner and the universe is like, well, maybe they're ready to learn this time, they shove us a little bit harder, right? Our guides are trying to push us and get us to see things, because ultimately they're really trying to redirect us and get us back on track and help us find the easier path. So yeah, sometimes things are going to suck, sometimes things aren't going to work out, but if we can remember that there's a reason we're experiencing that, there's a reason that that's the way things are going, take that with you. So last card here, we're going to take a look at this, and then we'll wrap this reading up. This is going just to be advice or guidance for you, wrapping up the week, wrapping up this reading, see what wants to come out. The key to prayer is to forget what I think I need. Okay, so I think I've already talked about this, right? It's all of this stuff, okay? Think I need. That's what's key. Because, again, when I was talking about what's on your mind versus your heart, when we're thinking about things and we get so wrapped up in what we think needs to happen and what we think needs to be the end result and a very specific outcome, and we're in our heads about it and we're thinking, that is not at all close to being in a situation of prayer or trying to manifest or trying to, create. We create by really listening to our intuition, of being the high priestess upright, of connecting to people, forming connections and relationships, leaning into them, allowing ourselves to be adaptable and change, and not get so caught up in just trying to make everything fit into some sort of category or be something that we can judge in a black or white type of manner, right? So this is very important here, because Capricorns, I really do feel like there's so much potential for you this week to clear some energy and to get rid of blocks and to overcome obstacles, but it's going to require that you approach it from a different perspective of really connecting in with people, seeing the universe as being a very loving and caring teacher that sometimes has to get harsh with us, put us in detention, right? Send us to the principal's office because we're not listening, we're not paying attention, we're being stubborn. The only other thing that I want to say to you guys is make an effort this week to really reach out and connect. Whether it's, I do understand sometimes it feels like you don't have anyone. I get that. I've been there. It's not necessarily true. I'll just say that. But I understand being in your head about things and feeling like there's no one. So even if you just go into the comments of this video and talk to each other, if there are people who are in the comments, they've listened to the video, they feel the need to go into the comments because this resonated, then there are people in the world, whether you know them personally or not, there are people in the world who get this, who are going through it. So just go into the comments, but make an effort to connect with other people this week. It's really important. I feel that just very strongly energetically that that's something that's really going to help you. So Capricorns, I'm going to put 2 videos up here for you. These are the other 2 videos that I've done for your signs so far this month. If you haven't seen them, you can check those out. I'll be back next week to do a reading to wrap up December, wrap up the year, and wrap up the decade. And then I will be doing readings in January that are 2020 prediction readings for the full year. I'll be doing those for each sign. If you love this video, give it a thumbs up. Please leave comments. I love reading comments from you guys. And also, if you are not subscribed, click that subscribe button so that you can join this community and you will be notified if you ring the bell. Hit that bell notification next to subscribe. That will let YouTube know that you want them to tell you when I post new videos so you don't miss out. Cappies, I love you guys. I feel like I'm part of your tribe because Capricorn is my rising sign. I totally 100% get this energy. I'll see you guys next week.